before we get to the Vanderbilt spring game, I wanted to try to hit on as many SEC teams as I could here, and we've got us some updated Heisman odds via FanDuel Sportsbook. And interestingly, this is the only guy I'm going to mention that's not in the SEC. Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud, 2-1. He's the favorite. He's even got better odds than Bryce Young, who's at 4-1. Bryce Young's got the second best odds to win the Heisman repeat. Maybe that's why he's not as high. Just the fact that there's only been one guy that's ever won the Heisman in back-to-back seasons. So it's an uphill climb already for Bryce Young when you look at it from that angle. And it seemingly every year, the preseason Heisman favorites, for whatever reason, they have one rough game or performance or their team drops a game, the voters write them off. It's all about who's the new player that's emerging as one of the nation's best. It doesn't always go to the best player, in my opinion. So Bryce Young also got that working against him. But hell, 4-1 odds, I think most Alabama fans would sign up for that. Now, how about this? This was pretty fascinating and maybe give you an indication of not to put a ton of stock into these odds, but we got to talk about something here in mid-April. Jackson Dart, Ole Miss quarterback, who he's not even been named the starting quarterback here. He's got the second best odds, according to FanDuel, out of the SEC, 30-1. Just gives you an indication of the talent Jackson Dart has and the faith in Lane Kiffin to get him another quarterback ready to play in this system this offseason. But like I said, Luke Altmaier, we're going to be checking out Jackson Dart, Luke Altmaier this weekend in the spring game. That'll be one of the biggest storylines to watch this weekend in the SEC. But hey, according to FanDuel, Jackson Dart, the clear frontrunner for that job. Now, here's a familiar name when you want to talk Heisman odds. Spencer Rattler, South Carolina quarterback, 50-1, according to FanDuel. That's probably about where I'd have him, maybe even a little bit lower, just based on, again, I'm hyping up Spencer Rattler, but at the same time, I'm pumping the brakes when it comes to Heisman. I think South Carolina, they don't need him to be the savior. They just need him to take that program to the next level, try to get to double-digit wins this season. Now, how about this one? Will Levis, Kentucky, 50-1. Oh, Mike Morgan, appreciative of him coming on. If you missed it on the last episode, Mike works for ESPN SEC Network, called the Kentucky spring game. Very, very high on Will Levis. Says maybe the second best quarterback in the SEC. These odds, putting a little faith in what Mike's comments here. Will Levis, 50-1 to be the face of the Kentucky program this year. Then we got a couple of guys here at 60-1. Hendon Hooker, Tennessee quarterback. Anthony Richardson, of course, Florida Gators quarterback. Will Anderson, Alabama outside linebacker. And Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama running back, the transfer from Georgia Tech. And I'm going to throw one other non-SEC, but just gives you an indication of I ain't fully buying into these odds. JT Daniels, new West Virginia quarterback. Again, he's not even been named starting quarterback or anything. Didn't win the job at Georgia. 60-1 as well. So JT Daniels is not going to win Heisman this year. To have him with the same odds as Will Anderson is laughable. Jahmyr Gibbs could be a huge breakout candidate. That's one to circle potentially. And then Hendon Hooker, Anthony Richardson, they have massive, massive potential. They are realistic candidates, in my opinion. Continuing here with the SEC odds, Will Rogers, like to see his name on the list, 80-1. Mississippi State's outstanding quarterback. KJ Jefferson also with 80-1 odds to win the Heisman, Arkansas's quarterback. Jaden Daniels, LSU quarterback, the transfer from Arizona State. That's pretty interesting right there. Jaden Daniels, 80-1 to win the Heisman. And then last but not least, Max Johnson, Texas A&M quarterback, transfer from LSU, of course. We're seeing Max Johnson, his name pop up more and more on these Heisman Trophy odds here. So 80-1. I know those folks down at College Station, they love them some Haynes King, but do not write off Max Johnson. I gave you the odds. These are the best bets. I'm not saying these guys are going to win the Heisman, but I love where they're at when it comes to the odds. And for me, it starts, this is why I asked Mike this question. He's also a Heisman voter. So, hey, another reason to go back and listen to that interview if you missed it. Will Anderson, 60-1. That's my favorite bet on the board. He should be 6-1. I mean, I think you're really taking FanDuel here if you bet Will Anderson at 60-1. My second favorite, been on this all off season, been screaming it from the mountaintops. Again, not saying he's going to win the Heisman, but I love that he's being discounted across the board. KJ Jefferson, 80-1. Sign me up for that. I'd put him closer to 8-1, maybe 10-1. Again, a very, very legitimate dark horse candidate if Arkansas continues to rise. KJ Jefferson. And then I'm kind of splitting hairs here, but third and fourth favorite bets among these odds, in my opinion, I'm just going to go Anthony Richardson third, Hendon Hooker fourth, just for the simple fact that it seems like anytime we discount the Florida Gators, they come out of nowhere and have one of their solid seasons. Maybe Billy Napier sprinkles some of that magic coaching dust that Dan Mullen seemed to leave his body late last season. Florida does have a ton of talent. They don't have the depth they want, but who knows? Maybe they put a 10-11 win season together, a magical ride here under Billy Napier. If that happens, you got to give Anthony Richardson some respect, and it's going to come because those flashes we saw from Anthony Richardson last preseason, who looked like a legitimate Heisman candidate. If that's who the Florida Gators are getting all year, I think he's going to be among the finalists here in the upcoming season. And then Hendon Hooker, of course, so much to like about Hendon Hooker, year 2 in Josh Heupel's system. So many pieces back for the Vols. He's going to put up PlayStation numbers in this offense. So I like Hendon Hooker as well at 60-1.